Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the third episode of the official Bay Street Barons podcast. I am your host, Farhan Said.
I'm Alex Source.
And I'm Noor Akram.
We're back today for episode 3 now. So, how you guys feeling? Third episode.
Great.
I mean, could be better,
Great.
but yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Could be better. It wasn't too much of an eventful week since our last episode, but I think there is some stuff to cover. Especially, I want to say like sort of like a continuation from the first episode, because I think inflation is a huge topic in on everybody's minds right now. Not even just people who are interested with finance. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, with the Federal
Um,
Reserve recently saying that they're increasing their projections by to 3.4% of inflation by the end of 2021. Before they projected in March that it was going to be 2.4%. That's a 1% increase. But I mean, hey, the markets are still going up, so like why worry? I think that's what a lot of people are kind of under that false influence.
Yeah, and I mean, essentially what analysts are saying is that all of this is going to be okay once the COVID recovery phase comes into play. But to put just some stats out there, just to give the people a little bit of an idea, so the PCE price index is up 3.4%, which is the personal consumption expenditure index, which essentially it reflects the pace of the economy and its expansion, and then the resulting fluctuation in prices of the market. And it's up 3.4%, which I think we were talking about this earlier, Alex, is the highest it's been since 2008, correct?
Right, to the best of my knowledge, it is. And, you see all these people, especially the administration in the United States, saying, oh, it's only going to be here for a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. And then you look at the numbers and it's like, oh no, it definitely is a big deal.
Like
Yeah.
it's not something to just look over and let it be. This is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
But yet, but like even with these types of numbers, analysts are saying that this is going to be okay, and once the COVID recovery phase comes into play, everything is just going to kind of flatten itself out. But what are your guys' thoughts on that? And do you think that's kind of just like the government just trying to get people to chill, kind of like a little safety message or what?
I think a quick point. I think everyone will agree that I think everyone's saying that this is transitionary. That yeah, it's not here forever. It's for a short period. Everybody has a different definition of what a short period is. For someone that short period might
Yeah,
be 2 months from now. Someone else can say that no, I'm expecting it for it to be like this for 1 year. So everyone I think most people in the Federal Reserve are agreeing that yeah, this is for a short term, but what is short term for each individual person, we don't know. So that's something to remember that there's no hardcore definition of yes, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, or so on.
right. And one thing that I see, and it's like it's a little bit of an eye opener. A lot of like I don't really watch a lot of consumer stocks. I typically tend towards finance side, so like major financial institutions. And I'm seeing an increasing amount of just these huge mega banks in the United States are hoarding cash, getting ready for the interest rates to rise because they really do not think inflation is transitory. They think it's going to be here to stay for the short term, but short term not meaning a couple of months, short term meaning probably at least a year, maybe two.
Yeah, exactly. And just continuing on, we spoke about the Federal Reserve increasing interest rate I mean inflation projections. Interest rates, they also said they're projecting two hikes by the end of 2023, and then again in March they said there was going to be no hike. So again, that's another increase, and again, not many people know about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a scary time, and just kind of on the topic of this, nowhere. Sorry, could you repeat what you said, nowhere? You said that by 2023. Say it again.
So the Federal Reserve recently had a meeting last week, and they
Okay, yeah.
said so there was two main takeaways. The first one was that they're projecting two interest rate hikes by the end of 2023. So previously they
Mhm.
said in around March that there was going to be none. So that's an increase. And they also said that their projections for inflation is now up to 3.4% by the end of this year, so by the end of 2021. And then whereas in March they said it would be 2.4% was their median projection.
Yeah, looks like we're on our way into a pretty sketchy area. And this means this isn't good for the market. I mean, what are you guys doing in particular? Like, I want to know just within your portfolio, how are you guys kind of preparing yourself for this, if you're
My
doing anything at all?
I really am not. Like, there's things that you can do to profit off of the sort of fear of a lot of investors once they hear the evil I word. Um, so like you're gonna see once like it's just waiting for a catalyst, so something to come out. Like the Fed is saying, if they move like one of the rate hikes forward, you're gonna see the S&P get hit. All those things are gonna take a dive. But I'm a long-term big picture guy, like we said in the last episode, I'm buying a business. I don't really care about the stock price.
Yeah, so personally for
Fair enough.
me, I sold a couple of my stocks. I think one I'll mention was Nvidia, which is like the one I absolutely loved, my favorite stock. I sold that because I think right now a lot of stocks are at their valuation or at the price they should be, and I'm scared that um that if something was to happen, what will happen? Like what will happen to these share prices? And I think a good rule to have is, I mean, if you've made a certain amount of money, it's always good to take some profits. Like that's not hurting anyone. But again, yeah, I agree. There's certain companies I'm looking towards that I feel that could be good going into um COVID recovery stocks. And another thing to, like Alex said, was the quote is, or the saying is, when everyone is fearful, you should be greedy, and when everybody's greedy, you should be fearful, something like that. So right now, a lot of people are, getting behind these stocks, saying, yeah, everything's going up, just put your money in. So it's good to be a bit fearful, and then make sure that the investments that you are holding are for long term, like not like Alex said, and they're not like short term for like a couple months, because then those could be hit quite hard badly if something does happen.
Exactly, exactly. But staying on that topic, of course, we like to stay with our long term, our smart investments. You're buying into a business. Remember, you're not buying off the basis of catalyst. But for the short term, specifically this COVID recovery phase, what are you guys looking at? Are you guys making any plays, trying to make any sort of money off this recovery phase?
Mm, Personally, I don't really see myself. Like, I would probably, if anything, just if there's a dip, I don't think of it as a dip. I think of it as, you know what, I've evaluated this company. It should be worth this amount. Look, it's on sale. Let me buy more. So,
Yeah.
like, from that mentality, it's not necessarily looking for what the catalyst will cause, per se, the biggest swing in. It's saying, hey, look, this is on sale. Let me pick up an extra couple shares, you know what I mean, to add to my position. Stuff like that I can see myself doing. I don't think I would go out of my way to say, something like Michael Burry, his inflation bet, where it's like, I don't even know the security. It was like some sort of spy inverse thing, right? If I'm not mistaken.
So yeah.
Right. So I would just look to be adding to my core positions companies that I know and trust. I know it doesn't matter what this dip is going to cause. I know they'll be fine. If not, they'll be profitable. So I'll just buy more shares of those.
Okay, so you're not in the position to be like, okay, so for example, I know Bank of America, their analyst posted some article talking about how they're super bullish and they think people should be investing in companies like Comcast and Disney, the sorts of companies that are going to likely thrive once, like the world is back to normal, like theme parks, amusement parks, or even beauty and like clothing companies, because we're back into that phase where we're back into the outside world. People care about how they look again, right? People care about how they look and people want to go places. So my question is, are you trying to pick up any of these stocks that you think might perform exceptionally well just from us getting back into the world, or are you still just you stick to your course?
In my opinion, just because of what you said, so like something like a Disney or some sort of like a makeup or travel company, the prices of those companies are all going to have that potential baked into them already. So the current price now has the potential or has the price change baked into it to account for, the the post-COVID boom, because that's what all the investors, like you just said, are thinking. So they're piling onto it, which in turn
Yeah.
raises the price.
Yeah, and here's
So
a sorry, Alex, what you were
So
saying?
it's just a
no, no, no,
matter
no,
of,
no, no. You go ahead, Noir.
Yeah, no, I was just saying here's another saying then. Everybody says you buy the rumor and you sell the news. So
yeah,
right
exactly.
so right now we're getting the point of where that news of yeah things are opening up is coming. And a lot of these companies, like, we're not the only ones who are thinking of this. There's thousands, millions of investors thinking the same thing, putting their money into such companies. And of course, that value of that, okay, this is a potential COVID recovery stock going into the future, is taken into account. And I think a really good example of something like that is, sure, well, you guys probably remember as well, CCIV was a big one where people were going crazy over the stock. Oh, it's going to compete against Tesla, merger happening, whatnot. It went up and then came right back crashing down when the news actually came out, because it had become overvalued to the point that uh, the future aspect of what people were expecting, the future value of the stock was the current price of the stock, if that makes sense.
Right,
And
exactly.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, sorry,
I
Noir,
think,
you finish.
no, that was it. That was it.
Right. So, like, just really quickly, what I was gonna say is, at that point, you're paying essentially a speculation premium.
yeah,
So
literally.
it is an overvalued stock, because and everyone's thinking, oh, tomorrow's the big news, tomorrow's the big news, but it already has that factor baked into the price.
Yeah.
There's like a sudden rise of catalyst based investors is what I want to call them, where they're like, for example, CCIV literally putting their money into a company off the sole fact that they heard some news of a possible acquisition or a possible upgrade or something, but no actual technicals, no numbers, no, they don't even know the company. Like half the people who are in CCIV probably didn't even know the company itself. They just heard of some sort of acquisition or some sort of merger coming to be. And I think that that's kind of a big thing that also kind of goes back into our investing versus trading sort of lesson that we have, where it's super important to know your company. You're buying into the company, right? You're not buying on news unless you then want to, buy that rumor, sell the news, like Noor said. But that's
Yeah.
different.
And I know a lot of people who, bought into the company early on and are still holding, like even after it dipped, because they believe in the company long term. And now that's a completely different thing. If that's the idea of, or if that's the route you're going, then by all means go ahead. But if you're trying to make quick money and you're hoping that this company in the future is gonna do this and you want that money right now, then I think it should be good to reevaluate your position. And once again, we're just a couple of students. We're not financial advisors or anything. So by all means, do your own research. But yeah.
Of course, yeah.
But
But
continue.
anyways,
Yeah, sorry. I was just gonna
yeah, no, go
say,
ahead.
continuing on, there is one stock I will say that I do like going into post pandemic, and that would be uh Baba or Alibaba. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of that. I feel it is, think, Shopify or e-commerce is people, China got shut down for a bit, so a lot of people who do drop shipping and stuff will be looking to get back in. And with most people continuing to spend more after the pandemic, because that's what the government is going to be looking for, I think it's up there. It should I'm hoping it does well. I'll say that it's a stock I'm paying attention to.
Yeah, I think definitely just us being inside, like the whole pandemic definitely strengthened, or at least I guess you could say highlighted the importance or the usefulness of the whole e-commerce industry. So that's definitely a big reason. But I've never actually monitored the Alibaba stock too much. Like what even is the share price currently?
It's
I
in
just
the
pulled it up.
yeah,
Oh,
here,
you
let me
did.
share your screen then. 1 second.
Yeah,
Okay,
what
so there
like
were some technical difficulties there, but we do have the screen up now. Um, so it's up quite a bit. So right now, so I was looking at it. I think if you go back a couple days, it wasn't, it's around the 210s, 211s, 218s.
Around Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it's just been stair stepping up
Yeah, so
ever since.
it's had a lot of issues with the U.S. government looking to the regulations coming on China and stuff like that. So all of that, investors got scared and pulling out their money, so it saw a substantial dip. So that's something, again, when people are fearful, you got to be greedy a bit. So yeah, so there you can see it went down quite a bit because of all the news coming out of regulations and people being fearful. So that's something that I'm looking for and trying to see, what will happen, what plays out. Because I do think it was a bit over exaggerated. I think with um, a lot of people will be looking to think drop shipping was a huge thing, and a lot of people stopped because of the pandemic, because there was issues with China in the past of like, okay, they can't ship because of course everything that happened. There's slowly people getting back into there, and I think yeah, it could be something to look out for.
Yeah, for sure. Alex, what are you looking at? Any big stocks this week?
Um, Not really. You know me. I just stick to my core positions. I don't really veer into speculative trading. I like to analyze a business and then buy based off that. So if I see a business is fundamentally undervalued, I like the business. I think it's not going anywhere, and then I move into it. And
Hmm.
I tend
Yeah.
to stick with it.
Uh-huh. I know you were kind of following Virgin Galactic, weren't you though? I think there was some big news
I had
just
just seen
today
the
with that.
news from this morning, and I was just looking at the run because where's the 1 day or the 5 day? Uh, what was it exactly? The FAA had approved something of theirs. Was it?
It's
I don't
pretty
know if
much
it
like
was.
space. It's not exactly space travel, but like yeah, they're essentially commercial space travel in a nutshell. But it's like I don't think it's to the extent at which we're thinking. Like you're literally flying through space. I think it's like touching the atmosphere and then coming down. But yeah, I mean that's definitely a really big thing for them.
Right, they had a pretty good day. That's 39 almost percent gain.
That's
Yeah,
Pretty
insane.
substantial.
Yeah.
definitely.
But I think yeah,
But
like Alex said, speculative side, like you don't know what's gonna happen. Like you're taking a gamble that they'll get approved. I think the best example is FDA approval stocks. A lot of people like, oh, there's FDA approval coming. Let me get into this stock early, and then once it gets approved, it's gonna skyrocket. If it doesn't get approved, it goes right back down. So I think that's always something that you should be aware of with speculative stocks.
yeah, like just how sure are you exactly on this, right? I mean, maybe if you have an understanding or an interest in that company aside from the financial side of it, like maybe you're just into like I don't know, like some medicine, you're into science and you're into that sort of thing. It's a different story altogether. But if you're just going off the basis of it might be approved, then yeah, it's
I
you're
would
you're
s-
you're just gambling.
I would make the claim that I think that's very similar to buying shares of a company that's reporting earnings soon. I think it's very, it's 50-50. You're either right or you're either wrong, and that's what you're hoping for. That's the only reason you're buying into a company.
And then, not to mention, also some companies they beat earnings by a large margin, and the stock price still goes down.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
again,
I think that's
that's
like nowhere's worst enemy right there, or
yeah,
worst nightmare.
painful. It's painful when that happens. Um, I mean, speaking of earnings, there's a stock, a very big stock that did absolutely amazing on earnings this week, and that is Nike. So let's get that up on the screen.
Got it. Like, look at that. Just
That is
Thursday to
beautiful.
today. That's just a huge leap.
When I tell you I thought this company, I thought it was gonna absolutely go the other way, and absolutely destroyed earnings. I think that just goes to show that you never know what to expect. That's why stick to your, have fun. Sure, go ahead, gamble some money if you want, but stick to your roots and play that long term game where you can get consistent returns.
Right. Like, and then there's like different degrees of the gambling because you could have like, all right, you know what? Nike earnings tomorrow. Let me buy 2 shares. And then you go like all the way to the other side of the spectrum where it's like, it's a Thursday today. Nike's reporting earnings tomorrow. Let me buy call options that are just complete, like far out the money, expiring tomorrow, hoping earnings are going to be good.
Yeah, like that's I think that here's bro, I'm on fire today. Here's another saying, or when people say when your trade becomes a long term investment. When you go into something as a trade and then you're like, you know what, I'm down so much, might as well make it a long term investment. Let's let's try not to make that happen often. But yeah,
Oh my God. I was guilty of those when I first started investing too much. Oh man.
yeah, that was me. That was me with the one stock as well. I'm like, yeah, short term, okay, 2 weeks, okay, 3 weeks, and it's like someone would ask me like, so how's your stock doing? I'm like, yeah, it's long term now. It's a long term stock now.
If somebody ever tells you that, just know they're down a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's literally like a
The
synonym for no man, I'm screwed.
the stock walk of shame.
It's not a
yeah,
walk of shame. It's a long-term hold. Oh
yeah.
my God.
Like that's
Yeah.
if that's the first thing someone tells you says to you about their stock, then you gotta. That's when you stop asking questions. You're like, all right, like I feel for you.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask anymore. I want to ask more. But
You
yeah,
get the idea. I don't know how Nike's up this much though after dropping those horrendous shoes. Alex, you sent them to me earlier. What are those? Pull them up.
I don't even know what they're calling them. I just saw it and I just was like, why? Here they
Yikes.
yeah.
are. Like, okay, that doesn't spell Nike in Greek. That's a
What does it
P.
spell?
It spells peaks.
So the N that they have is actually a P.
And then that's an S.
That's an S. So
Yeah.
P picks. Nice.
Yeah,
And then
So
what's
man.
the
it's just
leaf
like,
supposed to be
oh,
on the right?
I'm sure it's got something to do with the Greek mythology Nike, but
Oh.
just every time I see something like that, it's just like you could have so like easily went and just wrote it in Greek, but no, you just had to do that, and then it's like, and then on top of that, their stock is up $20 a share. It's just like insult to injury at this point.
I mean,
Yeah, I
like
agree.
I was that was really shocking. The stock being up that much because of like I said, the whole China regulations and stuff, and a lot of Nike's business is based through there and their supply and demand. So seeing Nike up this much, I mean, I'm applauding them, but I was quite shocked when I took a look after hours. I'm like, okay, let's see how much Nike's down. I go on up 15% after hours. I'm like, oh, well then, okay, someone made a lot of money. Well, yeah,
How much did they exactly smash earnings by? You
I'm not sure about the exact
Um,
number.
can pull it up. It'll be here.
I think it still takes a time to update on Yahoo Finance a bit, but
yeah, it doesn't show it over
yeah.
here. Normally it
I mean, they
does.
have beaten earnings in the
Okay.
past, so it's not something new to them.
Yeah, I know, of course.
But yeah, what about you, Farhan? Are any stocks that you're looking forward to after COVID or in the short
Nothing,
term?
nothing too in particular. Like I'm not looking at any COVID recovery stocks, surprisingly, right now. I'm still just really, really, really bullish on blockchain. Like, and I feel like I say this every episode, but every day is like I look more into it. I genuinely think that this is going to be like a game changer. But that has nothing to do with COVID recovery, at least.
Yeah, I think a lot of the COVID recovery that phase has somewhat passed. Like you look at airlines, you look at Cineplex. What else is there? Disney, some
Here,
travel
I'll get
stocks.
Disney up. Let's see
Like
Disney.
they've gone up in the past to the point where is it really a COVID recovery phase?
Yeah, I see what you mean. We're a little bit out of that, like, really bad, like financially poor COVID era. Like we've kind of risen out of that a little bit. But I still think there is that little room for more like not expansion, but to just kind of get out of it a little more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
Like
if you look at the
we're still
gra
a little stuck. Yeah?
right, like if you look at the graph, about here with any stock is about when you wanted to start a quote unquote COVID recovery play. You wanted to buy at the absolute bottom after the market just got obliterated. Like you could have picked up Disney for under $100 a share, which would be a steal.
yeah, and I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it hit 200 recently as well, maybe a couple months ago. But yeah,
Yeah, I think it's February, yeah, or March, 201.
yeah. So you see, that's what I mean. Like it's hit those numbers and it come back down. So is it's really because you kind of want to get in early. I mean, you kind of always time the market, but you want to get in before majority of the people get in, and then you want to sell off to those majority of people who are trying to get in after you. And with a lot of the COVID recovery stocks, it's a lot of people already know about them, like American Airlines. Also saw a run up. A lot of these stocks have seen those run ups already. So yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a million other people thinking about oh COVID recovery, COVID recovery. It kind of becomes a matter of like how quick can you get in it at the right time, sort of thing, you know?
Right.
yeah,
And at this point, I personally think the right time has passed. Like the right time would have been when everyone was losing their minds, like last year, March, and everything was just getting slammed. Like that is the time to pick up undervalued companies. Now, this like 178.35, that's got the potential for recovery premium built into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like once the market gets open, it's like why isn't the stock doing anything? It was supposed to go up, and then people start selling it, and then you see the dive.
yeah,
Yeah.
Obviously, it won't be as substantial, but there will be a pullback.
No, you're right. I think the time is a little gone. I mean, if you pull up almost any stock and you go to March 2020 and you can just see that was just a fire sale. You know what I mean? Like that was literally a sale for any company. And that would have been the perfect time. Like I look back and I think, damn, like I should have seen this as a sale, you know?
yeah.
Rather than, oh my God, we're screwed, you know?
I think that's a learning opportunity. I don't know, but I think Alex, did you get in March 2020 on anything?
I wasn't able to open my TFSA. I was still
That's
too young. I think my record was I think I tried 3 times to open a TFSA under the age of 18, which I was told by my local branch that it was a record.
yeah, yeah. I couldn't open
They just
my
they see me walk in, it's like, oh, it's this kid again.
What were you like how were you trying to accomplish this?
So I tried the first time because I didn't know when I was really young that you can't, the age of 18. And then the second time, I think for some reason I thought it was 16. And then the third time, I was like, because I'm a late year kid, so I went in like January. I'm like, come on, it's my birth year. It's good enough.
yeah. The
Which
bank
would
must
have been
have
perfect
fed
because
up.
that would have been January 2020, right? So I would have been able to buy the dip of March, but oh well.
Yeah,
It is what it is. But there was so much uncertainty around that time too. I mean, like if another one of those periods come, we'll see the sale, but probably still not buy in, just because there's always uncertainty.
yeah. And I think that comes with experience as an investor. Like once you've
Definitely.
seen so many, you're like, yeah, I don't care if it's like, so what? I'm down 50%. Okay, let's buy some more. And like that's a mindset that a lot of experienced investors will have, and it'll be like they're on sale, and
Right, like
that's the crypto mindset. And I know
oh
crypto
it
bros
is.
no,
are keeping that mindset right now because
you
it
cannot
is
compare that to the crypto mindset. No, I don't.
That's a very, very, very different mindset.
this is not looking too good over here.
I'm not gonna as much like I don't hate crypto. I don't mind crypto, but no, that mindset is completely different. Because you're at that point you're hoping that it will just go up. Versus with stocks, you're like, no, this company is worth this much, and you're like, it's undervalued. It's kind of different.
Right. Like I have certain long-term positions and I'll look at the stock price. One of them was taking a beating and I was like, "Oh, yes, keep going. Get slammed. Get slammed. Let's go. Get down, you know what I mean? So I could buy more." I don't care. Like I like you once you are experienced enough, you get to the point of where you look at your long-term holdings and you think, "Damn, I want that price to go down," because you know the value of the business what it should be. And if the stock falls below that, it's not a, "Oh no, I'm losing money." It's a, oh, it's on sale. You know what I mean? And then you just pick
Yeah.
it up again. Like like it's completely out of the vocabulary to be like, oh no, stock price is too low. You know what I mean? It's like, yay, it's on sale. The fear comes into play when the stock price gets too high, and it's like, you know what? It's getting to a ceiling. It's got to retrace. You know what I mean? And then you just buy the dip.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy the dip.
I think it was recently where I think the first time I was telling my mom like, "Oh, this company's reporting earnings today, and it's like a long-term thing I had." I'm like, "Please let it go down 50% or something, please, so I can buy more." And my mom's like, "Wait, don't you own that?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I want more. I want more." And then she's like, "Okay." And then I was sad that it only went down 5%, not 5%, $5. I'm like, that's not enough. I needed like a solid big drop so I could buy some more. But what can you do?
Yeah, that's gonna be the weirdest thing. Hoping that your biggest holding drops, you know?
Yep.
You gotta be the weirdest thing.
It's the
But
mindset. It's the mindset of not it's not a trader mindset. It's an investor mindset. It's the mindset of I own this business. This is the value of the business. Oh, look, it's undervalued. Let me buy more.
yeah. And I mean, since we saw the crypto up, that's what Mark Cuban thought when he was buying, what was that coin called?
I think it was
Titanium?
I think it
Was
was
it was Titan?
Titan. Can I Google it?
No, it was titanium, or no. Titan.
Uh,
Titan, yeah, you're right. It was Titan.
is it this? No.
No, no, it went to zero.
I mean, there's so many crypto coins. It's really hard to keep track of all of them at this point. You don't know which one is which.
Yeah, I know it is Titan. Yeah, this one, yeah. I don't know, Nowhere. Did you hear about
Yeah,
this?
look at this. It went from $65 to 0.1234567 zeros 35.
Ouch.
Absolutely insane. Yeah,
Ouch.
Mark Cuban and his like following kind of just
See, like, can you
messed up
imagine
there.
if Mark Cuban went out and talked about a stock that went from $65 to zero and like said to all his people, "Oh, this is the future. You should all get it." Like what the SEC would do to Cuban.
Like now, that's
Yeah.
that's not what you call a dip, by the way. That's not a
Yeah.
dip.
That's a bit more than a dip.
That's what you call dying. Like that's dead now. Like
Yeah,
I don't even
it's
know
it's
what
gone.
percent that is. Like I
But
can't.
somebody somewhere is saying, guys, don't worry, just buy the dip. It's on sale.
You know it, especially with the crypto mindset of it's just a dip.
Like
It's just
there's
the dip, don't
like
worry.
why like I don't understand like why pick like if you want to go invest in crypto, go ahead. You want to put your money in crypto, go ahead. But like why are you picking these meme coins for no reason? At that point, you're just
Well,
asking to lose
because
Yeah.
money.
people like Mark Cuban are like, they're always talking about it. So it's like, oh, Mark Cuban's got it. Then, it must be good. And then next thing you know, it's $0.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
point.
But you know who I have to give the hats off to are the people who actually watch all these big guys who hold these coins and track them, like track their holdings and then get in at the right time. Because think about like the what was that like didn't Dogecoin do like 400% in like 2 days back in like March or something?
Wasn't it like right before Elon went on SNL?
But yeah, around that time. Was it near
Yeah,
420? I think it might have been near 420.
I think it
Probably
might have been.
was, knowing Doge.
Imagine
Yeah.
imagine all the people like imagine the people who strategically got in at that time, who know that it's not necessarily an investment, but they're up 400%, so who's really laughing?
This is
When was it?
a throwback to I think after our 112 exam, data analytics. Um,
Oh yeah.
me and my friend, we went out on a drive. I was scrolling through Twitter. I saw someone tweet about Dogecoin hitting 1 cent. I'm like, yo, it hit 1 cent. It was like so low a couple months ago. Imagine if we invested $100, it would have been rich. And now
Oh
you
my
look at
God.
Dogecoin, I'm like, yo, at 1 cent, if I put in, I'm not gonna say invest. If I put in $100, that would have been pretty nice. But I mean, hindsight is 2020. So
But like the fact that like everyone, it was almost like like these people, the way they talk about it was just crazy. And like what did they call Elon? The Doge father before he went on SNL, right? And then the second he starts talking on SNL, it just completely gets obliterated. Like, look at that. Like right there, I'm pretty sure that's him on SNL. It just gets slammed.
yeah, I remember
Like you're telling me
people.
there's just people around the world watching SNL with their phones out, like on like Binance or whatever, just like, oh wait, no,
Uh,
hold on, more sentences. They just keep tapping sell, sell, sell as Elon just throws words out.
I
Like
mean,
Like,
I literally had a buddy of mine buy it like here for like 5 cents, and I told him, dude, the second he gets on TV, sell it. And he goes, "Are you kidding me? You think I'm gonna hold it till after the show? No." So he sold it like right before he got on and literally caught the peak of the hills.
That's a smart man right
Once
there.
again, you gotta sell the news, bro. Just gotta get out.
Yeah.
Uh,
Exactly.
think okay for people who do like crypto, I think instead of meme coins like this, I think Coinbase is a stock. If you think crypto is the future, go into Coinbase. You know, Coinbase is I think it's like the leading. It IPO'd pretty recently. It's gotten beat down quite a bit. I think it started off at like 300, 330 around there. Um, but if you think crypto is the future, I mean that's one of the biggest brokers or platforms where you can trade crypto. So if you know a lot of people do like crypto, I think that's a stock you should look into. But
What about stable coins? What do you guys think about those? Just coins that are backed by like an actual currency.
I don't know enough, so I like my stocks and
If
that's
it,
it.
but like by backed, I'm not familiar with the space. By backed, does it mean like each coin is $1, or is it like based off something so it still fluctuates in price?
I think it's the fluctuation in price.
Then no, because the only way I see anything really happening with this blockchain stuff is if it's fiat currency, meaning it's backed by a dollar, you know, something like as we stated in one of the earlier episodes, the JP Morgan thing where it's like its use on the inside of the firm to just move money around as quickly and as safely as possible. Like there is a use for that. But all this stuff I think is just it's I don't know. It's too much. There's too much volatility, too much risk, and even if like stable, like I don't know how stable is. You know what I mean? Like to me, stable is very different than stable to a lot of these crypto people.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
Like I'm pretty sure they would classify Bitcoin as stable, wouldn't they?
I mean, who
You're
knows?
asking the wrong guy, but maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think we gotta get some crypto guys on the podcast soon. You know,
We're
get
gonna
their
need to, but
opinion.
this is a bit too much slander happening here. We need
Yeah,
somebody to come tear us apart
yeah, we do.
pretty
All
pretty
right,
soon.
but that's all the time we have for today. And
That is all the time and all the slander we have for today. I guess we'll wrap it up there.
yes, so if you,
But
yeah, sorry, Fine. What were you gonna say?
no, no, go ahead, go ahead. I wasn't even saying
No,
anything.
I was just saying if you know if you guys have any COVID recovery stocks, let us know in the comments or on Instagram. Feel free to message us. But yeah, that's all we have for today, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right.